for guidance, just as we look into a mirror to see any soiled spots in our face. So let us look to you in order to understand the things we have done amiss. We are like a reed shaken in the wind. We are inexpressibly weak. Leave us not to ourselves, but dwell in our hearts and guide our thoughts and actions. Amen. Grace is greater than our sin. Marvelous grace of our loving Lord, grace that exceeds our sin and our guilt. Yonder on God's Calvary Mount, outpoured, there where the blood of the Lamb was split. Grace, grace, God's grace, grace that will pardon and cleanse within. Grace, grace, God's grace, grace that is greater than all our sin. Something to think about. I had this moment this morning. I was walking through the house. I found somebody spit some gum on the floor. I thought to myself, I know the kids know better, but there's still something in them that just leads them astray. I also know that same thing in them lead them to deny that they did it. And I don't think it's always so much they're afraid of what's going to happen. It's that they know deep down inside that it's something they shouldn't have done. No, they may be afraid. Of whatever penance they may get. They also don't even understand why they did that. So, it's been a long time since I've been a kid, but I'm an adult. I also know when I feel like I did something wrong. I feel like a failure. Because I knew better. And sometimes it's easier just to walk on and ignore it. Even though I need to confess it to myself and tell myself I'm not a failure. Because it's by God's grace. And my admitting it comes to remission. And that remission is God's grace. And it's greater than all of our sins. And He's not going to hold it against me. I'm pardoned. Anyway, have a great day. God bless you all.